6 months ago, my parents died in a car crash on a rain-slicked highway. One moment they were texting me about planting tulips in the spring, the next, they were gone. Just like that. No warning. No last words. Just silence where their voices used to be. Their will was straightforward, everything split equally between me, Alex, 30M, and my younger sister, Chloe, 28F. The centerpiece of their estate was the old Victorian on Holloway Lane, the house where we were born, raised, and where every creak in the floorboard held a memory. It's a 3-story, turreted monstrosity with gingerbread trim, stained glass windows, and a wraparound porch that sags like a tired old man's shoulders. Beautiful, yes, but crumbling. The roof leaks like a sieve, the furnace groans like a dying beast, and the wiring hasn't been updated since the Reagan administration. Chloe moved to Chicago right after college. She's a marketing director now, sharp suits, designer handbags, and a life curated for Instagram. She hasn't set foot in Holloway Lane in over 5 years. To her, the house is just an asset. A liability, really. Sentimental value doesn't pay property taxes, Alex, she told me over lukewarm coffee the week after the funeral, her voice clipped and impatient. But to me, it's home. And it's haunted. Let me be clear, this isn't some gothic fantasy I've conjured up to cope with grief. Chloe and I both know the truth. We've known it since we were kids. When we were 7 and 5, we'd huddle under the covers in my room, whispering about the shadow man who stood at the foot of the stairs every night at 3:17 a.m. Mom would laugh it off, old houses settle, sweethearts, but Dad would check the locks twice. Then, when Chloe was 12, she swore she saw Mom's reflection in the hallway mirror, while Mom was asleep in bed. The reflection smiled, waved, and vanished. We stopped talking about it after that. It became our unspoken pact, pretend it's not real, and maybe it'll leave us alone. But after Mom and Dad died, the house woke up. The first sign was subtle. I stayed behind to sort through their things. One night, bone-deep exhausted, I fell asleep on the living room couch. I woke to an unnatural cold like stepping into a walk-in freezer centered right over my chest. My blanket, which had been kicked to the floor, was tucked neatly around my shoulders. And the air, it smelled like Dad's cherry pipe tobacco. He hadn't smoked in 20 years. Then the remote control lifted off the coffee table. Not fell. Not rolled. Lifted. It hovered for a full 3 seconds before gently landing on my sternum, as if placing a hand there to say, I'm here. I called Chloe the next morning, voice shaking. She listened in silence, then sighed. Alex, you're grieving. Your brain is trying to fill the silence. It's not real. Please don't tell anyone, you'll sound unstable. But 2 weeks later, she came to help clear the attic. She insisted she didn't believe in any of it. I'm doing this for closure, she said. She spent the night in her old room, the one with the lavender wallpaper peeling at the seams. At 2:48 a.m., I heard her scream. I found her sitting bolt upright in bed, trembling, tears streaming down her face. On her pillow sat Mr. Buttons, her childhood stuffed bear, threadbare and one-eyed. The bear she'd left behind when she moved out at 18. The bear Mom had thrown away after Chloe called it babyish. I didn't bring him, she whispered, voice raw. I haven't seen him in 10 years. And the closet door, the one that always stuck because the frame warped in the humidity, was wide open. She swore she'd slammed it shut before bed. She didn't say another word about ghosts that weekend. But I saw the way she flinched every time a floorboard groaned. Last Tuesday, Chloe showed up with Martin Reeves, a slick realtor in a $2,000 suit. He'd brought an offer, $325,000 cash. The house is worth at least $500,000, if it weren't falling apart. But Chloe didn't care. It's a clean exit, she said, practically bouncing on her heels. No inspections, no contingencies. We sign Monday, and it's done. I asked for time. Just 6 months. I'd cover all maintenance costs. I'd even pay her a monthly stipend from my savings to compensate for the delay. Something is here, Chloe, I pleaded. What if it's Dad? What if he's trying to tell us something? What if selling it angers it? That's when she snapped. You're embarrassing yourself, she hissed, her eyes blazing. You're sitting in this decaying mausoleum, talking to ghosts, while I'm drowning in student debt. Mom and Dad would be ashamed to see you like this, hiding from reality behind fairy tales. She called me delusional. Pathetic. Said I was using ghost stories as an excuse to hoard the house because I'm afraid of the real world. Then came the knife twist. You know what Dad always said. Alex lives in his head too much. He knew you'd do this. I felt like I'd been gutted. Because Dad had said that. Once. After I dropped out of law school to write poetry. But he'd also held my hand at Mom's funeral and whispered, some truths aren't meant for daylight, son. I anticipated the skeptics. So I set up cameras. Night of Chloe's visit, the attic cam shows Mr. Button sliding off the shelf at 2:46 a.m. No vibration, no string, no draft, and landing softly on her bed at 2:47. Chloe saw the footage. Her response. Camera glitch. Or you staged it. The lights, the hallway sconce hasn't worked since 2018. Yet on the night Chloe screamed, it flickered on for exactly 11 seconds. The motion sensor log shows no movement in the hall. The basement, Dad left behind blueprints. Hidden in his study safe. They show a sealed room beneath the wine cellar, marked only as Study 1892. We never knew it existed. Now, every night at midnight, 3 slow knocks echo from behind the stone wall. Knock, knock, knock. Like someone waiting to be let in. I've contacted a local historian. She confirmed the original owner, Elias Holloway, was a reclusive spiritualist who died under mysterious circumstances in 1893. His wife vanished the same night. Their daughter? She was 8 years old. Her name was Eleanor. Chloe's middle name is Eleanor. Mom's was 2. Yesterday, I went to the house to check the basement wall. The front door was locked. I used my key, it didn't turn. Chloe had changed the locks. She texted me an hour later. Consider this your final warning. Sign the sale papers by Friday, or I file for conservatorship. The court will declare you mentally unfit to manage estate assets. You'll lose everything, including your reputation. She's already filed a petition. Her lawyer claims I'm suffering from pathological grief with delusional features. She's using my camera footage as proof of erratic behavior. I haven't slept in 2 days. Every time I close my eyes, I hear the knocking. And last night, for the first time, it changed. Knock, 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 knock. Like a question. Should I sign the papers and walk away from the knocking, the cold spots, the pipe smoke, and the bear that shouldn't exist? Or do I fight for the truth, even if it costs me my sister, my sanity, and everything else?